Travis was telling, I was a senior executive, now I am a mentor, a coach, but much more, I am a mother of 3 children, and I am the unleasher of their individual potential. And sometimes it's difficult, they are teenagers, but I train a lot with them. I am a lifelong learner and I believe completely in human beings. So I am a believer completely. And for 1.5 years, I am founder of WORKCOHERENCE, the new part of my life right now that I want to bring coherence to the workplace and to our lives. A little about my journey, as Travis was telling, the first Teal around the world, it was right after I left Russia, India, and I brought a little of the story of the transformation. So how to transform an affiliate, a country. And I talked a lot about how I use purpose for this, but lots of the Teal principles, but a lot based on quantum leadership, based on the book of Dana Zohar and her teachings about quantum leadership. And then the second Teal, I gave more specifically the example, if an organization wants to start its self-organizing journey, where to start. And then I gave the example of the Roche in Positive and Roche Kritagata that are virtual business units that we started with people helping to elevate others as human beings and helping the culture of the company. And this was last year. And then after this, so it was also a journey of myself, many people asking me, how can you share your experience? So as a leader, and every place that I worked, I really believe that everybody is a leader. And I was always working on developing the leader that each one has, because it's the best way for you to have really empowered organization and to build trust and to grow the service beyond what we have as our offerings of products and service. We have to have everybody as a leader, everybody thinking in a greater good, in a bigger purpose. And with this, I started to work a lot in each individual, each human being. And this year, what I bring to you guys is a little of my experience and what I am now writing a book about. That is exactly how you unleash this inspiring leader that we have inside ourselves and how to do this with others in an organization or in communities in our family. So this year, I bring to you a way of seeing our lives as being more coherent. How can you live your life in a more coherent way? To start all of this, what I really believe is that for us to understand inspiration, for us to understand what drives people, what motivates people, we have to talk a lot about what you have within. Because absolutely everything starts within. And if you want really to become an inspiring leader, you have to understand what is success right now. So if you think about success, in the past, lots of people were talking about professional success, financial success. Countries always, they are still measuring themselves by GDP. Companies by the value in their stock value. And we start to see a move, and with technology, there are different ways of seeing absolutely everything. And we see right now, instead of the value of the stock and instead of the GDP, there are lots of value being given to the countries that are helping with the SDGs, countries that are helping each other to build a much more sustainable way of living. And at the same time, in the companies, they are measuring a lot the ESG, or how can I really, with my products, with my service, really impact society in a different way. And it's not that we have to make products that are better for society. No. Who was listening to Ricardo Semler's talk today, is like, if you are working in a business, what else can you do in your society around you to make this society, this community, a better place? So whatever you have to offer will even add more value. So you have to be responsible for the community that is around you. You have to understand what is around. So measurement of success is much, much, much more than how much you sell. So there are lots of companies during the the pandemic, that you were looking to the companies and you were seeing, this company is super successful, this company is selling a lot. But then suddenly, this company was treating employees in a way that it was not acceptable. And many times they were telling that this is for the good of our customers or our clients. But this is not good enough. If you do not take care of your people first, you will not be able to make them take care of others. At the same time, if you're not thinking in the community, you will not be able to tell your people to be really inspired and think on, how am I doing good to my community? If you are destroying the environment and your employees are going out to a place that is destroyed by your company, but then they are doing philanthropy or CSR, this doesn't work. So you need to have a coherence in what you do, how you do, and why you do. But a measurement of success right now for the countries is a lot about how much I consider others, how much myself as a country am I adding value to the planet, to other countries, how I am helping the population to have less hunger, how I am helping in the education, how am I being part of UN and helping further. Yeah, but these we know, and we are seeing how we are being measured in the companies. Lots of CEOs are being measured right now also by the ESG. They are also looking the companies by seeing if they are a B Corp and how the CEOs are delivering value to the society, how they are taking care of the environment, the society, the governance. Yeah, the CEOs, they are like this, and even startups right now, if they are building a sustainable business, meaning not financial or sustainable, but it's a business that is sustainable because they have impact in society, meaning that society will need them for a longer term, then they will have much more chance of succeeding. Yeah, but then the question is really, what is the measure of success for the individuals? Because then comes the very important point. When you have your company thinking like this, the CEO thinking like this, but then you hire people. You hire people and you have to motivate people, and you continue to pay bonus by sales. You continue to pay bonus by profit. And you were telling that you want to impact society. You want to be a better company. But then you are paying per profit and per sales, and the individuals are talking to each other, like celebrating by the end of the year that I had the biggest bonus, I had the biggest sales. Okay, this is very important also. But is this what really makes human beings happy? And this was clearly answered by Professor Clayton Christensen. And I love this professor of Harvard, and he wrote this book that is How Will You Measure Your Life? And this book is amazing because he was telling stories of several CEOs that they got everything that we think, okay, when I achieve there, I will be so satisfied and I will be in my plenitude. But they were not. They were not, because they were telling, okay, I did all of these, I achieved what I achieved, but what did I do as a human being? What legacy did I leave? And something that he talks about, and it comes, is something that is my passion, he talks a lot about the meaning of life, the purpose of life. That really the CEOs that achieved the position of CEOs, but were really, really, really satisfied, and they look back and measure their lives as really, truly successful, are the ones who, in their journey of becoming a CEO and having a professionally successful life, they were impacting people. They were impacting society. They were making a difference and making the world really a better place. And when we think about this and we start to think, okay, how we need to see really how people are motivated and satisfied. The financial part is super important, is very important. But only the financial part will make people be greedy, not collaborate, will not allow them to do whatever we are trying to do in these 28 hours, to bring Teal, to bring self-organization, to bring a higher purpose to the organizations, so we can have organizations that truly collaborate for the future. The way for us to really make this shift is to believe that each individual, beyond financial, they need to have a purpose. They need to measure themselves differently. And they need to feel that the work that I am doing is completing me as a human being. How do we complete people as human beings? And this is the question. This is the 1 million question. Very important for me. And this is a slide that I love, and we were having fun with Oti Vogt, because he was talking about gardening, and let's not compare gardening with leadership. But this really touches me, because I truly, truly believe that there is a new leadership paradigm. That when a flower is not blooming, you do not take the flower out and change it. You will not fix the flower. You will fix the environment. You will have a better soil. You will have better nutrition for the flower to be able to grow and to bloom. And for me, this is the point. To be a leader, to truly be a leader, and to measure success of a leader is how much this leader is able to nurture and to build an environment where other people can be leaders and truly live their potential, being authentic, and being able to lead their companies as if they would be a CEO. So how can you do this? And for me, this is super important, because this Max Planck saying is something that helps us all the time to do things new. So he told that when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at will change. It will change. And this is the beauty of seeing leaders. So if you are a leader, yeah, and you are thinking so much on nurturing the environment, making more people leaders, so how should we do? And for me, this is what is changing the perspective. Whatever you have to do to people, and if you think you want to bring trainings or whatever to people, you have first to think in yourself. For me, this is the leader's eternal work. It is the self. It's an eternal self-development. You are always working on your self-awareness, on the intention that you have, how you are an integral human being. You have always to be learning. Each year, something will change. The dynamics of the world is changing. If you face a pandemic, you will have to change and learn new ways of doing things. But you have always to be coherent. You have to have a coherence by what you are doing, implementing, and what you were. You have to walk the talk. And when you learn to do this, then you were truly a leader and you have a responsibility because you have to create other leaders. You have to foster a safe environment for other leaders to really grow and unleash this potential that they have within. And then we have always to see beyond. What does the world need? So are we doing what the world needs? Because if you are in the middle of the pandemic, an example that I love to give is what Tesla did during the pandemic. Tesla, in the middle of the pandemic, they were producing their electric cars. But there was a moment that they changed completely their production and started to produce ventilators. Yeah? And this is the point, is how flexible are you to really be a leader at the moment, seeing what the world needs? They could tell, world also needs electric cars. Despite of the pandemic, in the future, we need to have a better environment. But at that moment, they were able to change it and be flexible. And this made all of the employees super proud to tell that we are helping what is happening in the world. Yeah. And when you are a leader and then suddenly you need to help other people, the first thing that you have to look at is, how can I be helped? For you to help others, you need to learn to ask for help. So if you are a leader, or if you want to be a leader, the very important thing is always to be looking around and see who inspires you. What kind of leader you want to be? These are questions of self-awareness and self-reflection that you have to do. The day that you will tell, I am the leader that I wanted to be, you are starting to lose what you have most important and most beautiful. It's your humility and your eager for learning and knowing new things, because you will always learn from the people that is around you. How can you always be evolving and thinking on your life intentionality? And what exactly is it that will make your life coherent? And when I ask you to make your life coherent, is it while you are preaching at your house with your children, or that you are defending yourself to your parents or to your community? Is this what you are defending in your job? Or you have to go back home and tell, okay, this is what I believe, but in my work, I am doing this because I have to earn money. And after I retire, I will follow my dream. This is not coherent. How can you be coherent as a human, as a worker, and a citizen? How in a moment like this, that the world is facing things that are terrible, that everybody needs to talk, how can you allow your people to talk about war, about whatever is happening, without coming in a position that is making conflicts, but is living with compassion and talking to everything? Because you need to let people be coherent at work. So where you look for these inspiring conversations that help you evolve as a person. So one very important thing that I learned is that you have to have your personal board. Yeah, your personal board are like 3 or 4 people that you will go to whenever there are different things. So whenever I had things about decision of career, I used to go to a woman boss that I had in Bayer. I always wrote to her, and she never ever failed answering me. In the part of health, I have always my father. He's a medical doctor, and I go there. So I have my personal board. There are people that I go to some issues. So there is a mother that I go always there when I have things with my children. So you have to have your personal board, and this personal board has to be integral. Yeah. So now I am going to my last charts. I try to be brief because I think we will win much more in our conversation, questions and answers. So my last chart is the summary of all of these that we were talking. My next chart is what I am building as my book, and you will understand. Let's tell me, you can see my mouse here or not? Can you see it?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Perfect. So I come here. So what I tell everybody, and this is how I worked with my people and unconsciously. And right now I have very clear how I was working and how I work with my coaches and the work that I'm doing today. We are all natural human beings. We are all beautiful and we all have so much potential. But normally as a natural human being, we tend to react to life. We live a life that we are induced by the best offer of job that we have, or we look for the place that we need to earn more in the professional side. And then we look for hobbies that will help us with our passion, our future. And then we decide not to marry at a certain age because the career is more important. And then when you marry, you think to have children or not, because it will not help my career. So you start to think all lot separated. Yeah. This means you are a natural human being. And for me, the steps for you to be a conscious human being, that each time that you have a challenge, you tell, I can do all. What I just have to is figure out how I will fit everything together. The first thing is the integrality of your life. You have to understand everything that is around you, absolutely all spheres of your life. If you are able, and this is the kind of the wholeness of the Teal. So the wholeness part is that you have to be whole. You have to understand the wholeness of your life. When you are a student, you have the school, the friends, the parents. But then when you are in college, you have more challenges. You have to understand this integrality. When you get married, you have to understand that this integrality is growing and the systems that you're being part are growing also. Yeah. So integrality is understanding all of these and also understanding what is happening in the world. You cannot work and not know what are the SDGs, what is that your company stands for. You cannot. You have to know and you have to fight for this. And the intentionality is the part that you know why you are doing what you are doing. You know, you have to know that the choices that you make in your life will have impact, not only in you, in your future, but in people around you. So what is your intentions? What is the impact that you have in different people? What is the impact of a decision that you take? If you just tell, oh, I'm not going to have children right now, my husband has to wait. It's not only you, it's yourself, your future kids, it's everybody. So what is the intention that you have? I want in my life to make a better world for other people, or I want to help agriculture. Whatever is something that you have an intention that is important for you, and you know that each time that you are doing, you can fit it. And then is exactly the coherence that comes here. When you are clear of your intentions, how can you put these intentions and leave these intentions in different spheres of your life? Yeah. And then comes the lifelong learner, because sometimes we put on paper and we tell, yeah, I put on paper my intentions, I know my spheres, and I know how I am coherent. And then you are working like this, and then suddenly it comes children. And then your children are your priority, how you will do it. And then, but if you have this on paper, you tell, okay, then my children will be part, they will be instruments for me to achieve my intention. And when you start to grow more mature with this idea, you are able to put your purpose on written. If you put your purpose on written, you have completed your individual circle. Because if you are able to put your purpose on written, and then you have very clear purpose, the ikigai, yeah, the reason for living. If you can put in words your purpose, and you can tell this in all the integrality of your life, making your life completely coherent and intentional. And each time that you are changing jobs, changing careers, changing whatever that is changing in your life, you are able to continue with this purpose. People will look at you and will tell, wow, this person is so coherent. This person is like whatever this person was telling 10 years ago, it might have changed slightly, but this person is wow. And then you start to be an inspiring human being. You are a human being that people look up to, and they want to live a life like this because it's easier. It's an easier life because it's easier to solve problems. It's easier to face challenges. Because if you know what you want from your life, even if there is a very important crisis in your life, you know what you want and you come back to it. And it's exactly the same for a company. If a company knows what they want and how they want to do it, if there is a crisis, is even more important, this strategy, because it adapts to the crisis, but you know what is your purpose and what you want. So if you make your life like a very purposeful company that is surviving crisis because they know what they want in their lives and they just adjust everything, it's perfect. And when you are inspiring leader, then you have a responsibility, because you have to inspire others to go through the same journey of becoming conscious and an inspired human being. And as many inspiring human beings you have around you, the better your life will be. So then you have to foster an environment for others to be able to go through this journey and be able to do it easier. So if you are in a company and you are a CEO of a company, if you are in a team, you have to make this environment where this can happen. Meaning that in your team or in your department, your company, you have to find the integrality of your team, the intentionality of your team, how to be coherent with your team's thoughts, and how to be learning always. And there is one thing that is more important when there is not only one person, but a community or more people together trying to do this journey, is that transparency is very important. You have to talk, and this is communication. You have to talk what you are doing, why you are doing, and what is my intention. If it's changing, share that it's changing, is not a problem. And then comes this evolutionary purpose that is also from the Teal. Right? And the self-organizing from the Teal, it comes exactly in the lifelong learning, because you organize yourself, organize your community by trying to find together a common purpose, while each individual can be fulfilling their purpose. And with this, you will have a culture that is proper for you to keep this journey. And then for me, this is called work coherence, because you are working your whole life. You are not working only when you have your job. You are working when you are a mommy, a father, when you are a brother, sister, when you are a student. You are working the whole time. How can you make this work coherent in whatever you are doing? And I give, for example, a little example of my children, that the way that they were thinking about studying better, they were thinking a lot in the teachers. We were talking about the teachers, and we were having a conversation that I was telling, you guys want people to be happy, right? You guys want people to be kind of fulfilled. So what do you think your teachers feel when you have a bad grade, when you're not paying attention at the class? Do you think that they are okay with the career that they chose? But what you should do for the teachers to be very happy of the career that they choose and to feel that they are fulfilled in what they are doing. And then my daughter was telling, yeah, if I am a very good student and I ask a lot, they will not be annoyed. They will not think that I am stupid. They will think that I am interested, and I will make them think that they are good teachers because I am curious, and I will make them feel that it was worth the day and choosing being teachers, right? I said, yes, exactly. So if you study and you are interested, if not for you, for the teachers, just to make them, you like them, so just make them happy, fulfill them. And in somehow thinking on others and this compassion and making others happy, you will be happy yourself and do the right thing. So these are some little examples that you can use that will help a lot. And by the end, I finish with this phrase that I always finish, is that the hero and the coward both have fears. But there are differences that the heroes make their decision based on their dreams. Yeah, because everything is difficult. Yes. Everything is uncertain and we have fear of it. Yes. But what will make difference in your life is that you think again, come back to your intention and your purpose. And if you have it, it doesn't matter that you were afraid. You focus on what you want to be remembered for, how you want to live your small legacy, whatever you are, and just go for it. So what exactly is your dream? What exactly is your intention and your purpose that tomorrow you can just think about it, and whatever you were afraid, you are afraid still, but it doesn't matter because you know what you want to do.